Hello friends, I hope you all are doing well and staying safe at your own place. I, CA Pujin Kapadia, welcome you all on my today's lecture on the subject Banking Paper 6. We have started with the topic of non-performing assets in our previous lecture, under which we had taken the first slide of introduction. Important points on this slide were the first recommendation was being given by the Narasimha Rao Committee. Prudential norms pertains to three important points: income recognition, asset classification, and provisions on advances by bank. At the time of asset classification, I need to take care of two important points. One is objective criteria. That is, I am supposed to follow the rules and regulations which are set by the prudential norms. And the second is record of recovery. That is, I need to check whether the amount is being repaid by the customer regularly or not. If not, then what is the time period since when the amount is not coming to the bank. At the time of making the provisions on the advances, I need to take care of three important aspects. First is period for which the asset remain non-performing. That is, since how long the asset has been classified as NPA. Second is whether any security is available or not. And the third is if it is available, I need to take care and consider the realizable value. That is what price I am going to get if I sell off that security at present. So friends, basically this was the introductory side. Next was meaning of NPA, that is meaning of non-performing assets. Before starting with the topic, I had explained you that any kind of loans or advances which are given by the bank to the customer are assets for the bank. So when any asset ceases to generate income, that is, it is stop earning income or it becomes non-productive, it is classified as non-performing asset. Technically speaking, if any account is overdue for more than 90 days, that I have written over here, any account if overdue for more than 90 days. Remember friends, बाकी सब भूल जाओगे चलेगा, you are never supposed to forget 90 days. So if any account is overdue for more than 90 days, it is termed as non-performing asset. As a result of which, I am not sure whether I am going to recover entire amount on that asset or not. What I am supposed to do, I am supposed to make provision for the same. So basically, NPA is a bad signal or a worse signal for a bank because NPA denotes loss, which adversely affects the profitability of the banking business. So bank always try to keep NPA at the lowest level possible. In the last lecture, we had taken due care of identification of non-performing asset. That is, how to identify non-performing asset in different types of loans. First of all, I had taken care of term loan, which means whenever you are having a loan for a specified tenor, for a specified time period, it is known as term loan. If the interest or installment amount remains overdue for more than 90 days, then it is termed as NPA. Second was cash credit and overdraft, under which I had told you to remember one important word, that is out of order. If your cash credit account or the overdraft facility is out of order for more than 90 days, it will be considered as NPA. So now the question arises, what is out of order? For which we had duly considered three different criteria. First criteria was if my total outstanding balance is constantly in excess of the limit or the drawing power. That is, suppose my drawing power was rupees 1 lakh and my balance is constantly staying around 2 lakh. So it is basically constantly in excess of the drawing limit. Then my account will be considered as out of order. If it is not the case, that is, my outstanding balance is within the limits, then I'm going to look at the second point, which says if there is no credits for more than 90 days in that particular account. That is, I have not received any payment, I have not deposited any payment in that particular account, which means there is no credit for more than 90 days, then an account will be considered as an out of order. Even if it is not the case, that is, there is credit, then I am going to check the third condition. There is credit, but my credit is not sufficient enough to cover the interest debited for the same period. Which means suppose the interest debited for that quarter was rupees 40,000 and my credit was only 30,000. Now in this particular case, there was credit, but my credit was not sufficient enough to cover the interest which was debited for the same period. So friends, if any of this criteria gets fulfilled, your account will be termed as out of order. And if it stays as an out of order for more than 90 days, then you are going to classify it as a non-performing asset. Next is bill discounted. If your bill remains overdue for a discounted period of more than 90 days, so again here is the criteria of more than 90 days. And last that you need to remember specifically a different answer, agricultural advances, under which we are going to classify the agricultural loan for two different types of crops. One is short duration crops and second is long duration crops. When I'm talking about short duration crops, I need to check if the amount remains overdue for two crop seasons. For example, I gave you that in case of certain vegetables, these vegetables grows round the year, like summer and winter. In both the seasons, we are having the cultivation of that vegetables. Then such crops are considered as short duration crops. Now suppose I have given someone loan in the month of March. Now in summer, there is going to be the cultivation of that particular vegetable. Yes, the entire summer went, but there was no repayment by that particular farmer. Now it's a time of winter. In winter, again, there was a cultivation of vegetables, but still after the completion of entire crop season, that is winter season, still farmer has not paid anything. Now in this particular case, my loan has been outstanding or overdue for two crop seasons. In that particular case, I'm going to classify that loan as an NPA. In short, I need to remember only one thing. If it is a short duration crop, I need to consider two crop seasons. If it is a long duration crops like mangoes, then I'm going to consider it as a one crop season. So this was what we had covered till the last lecture. I hope I was totally clear with the same. Today, we are going to commence with the next topic. Name of the topic is asset classification, that is classification of NPA. If you come across a short question or a long answer, write a short note on classification of NPA. And first of all, you are going to write the meaning of NPA, like what is NPA, brief introduction about the same. And then you are going to basically start off with this particular answer. Now remember our first lecture on this particular topic. I had told you guys in the point of asset classification that broadly assets can be classified into two broad categories. One is performing asset and second is non-performing asset. So basically the accounts, the loans which are regular, that is I am getting my repayment on timely basis as and when it is due, then they are going to be classified as a performing asset. But if there is an overdue for more than 90 days, as we have learned in the definition, those accounts are going to be classified as non-performing assets. So first of all, you need to be clear like what is performing asset and what is non-performing asset. Furthermore, they are basically classified into the four broad categories which are mentioned on your particular slide. That is standard asset, substandard asset, doubtful asset, and loss asset. Now let's take a look in each one of this, because consider it as a most important question. It is likely to come like any asset may be asked for 2 marks question, like explain doubtful asset or explain substandard asset, or it can come totally as a short note or a long question of 7 marks. So prepare it well. First is standard asset, under which I have written those assets which are regular in paying the interest and installments. Important word over here is regular, which means as and when your EMI or your installments become due, customer is duly repaying that amount. For example, on every 7th of the next month, my EMI is due and I'm duly paying my EMI on that particular date itself. Then it can be said that I am a regular repayer of the particular loan. As a result of which my account conduct is regular, my repayment is going on regularly. So that particular loan account will be classified by the bank as a standard asset. The another name of it is performing asset, because there is no overdue in this particular scenario. You are regularly serving your installments. I hope I am clear with this. So the first thing that we have learned is standard asset, in which there is no overdue. You are regularly repaying the installments as and when it becomes due. Second is substandard asset. Now you all know when an account becomes an NPA, when it is overdue for more than 90 days. So it is crystal clear to all of you. NPA is an account which is overdue for more than 90 days. So the second category now we are going to study is substandard asset, under which I have written an account which is NPA up to 12 months. Now please read it carefully, because there are certain confusions that may come up in a later part. As a result of which, please focus on this once again. What I have written over here, an account which is NPA up to 12 months. First of all, my question to you is, when an account becomes NPA, if 90 days have been passed to that particular account. So to become an NPA, first of all, I need to wait for 3 months, right? Plus, if my account remains NPA up to further 12 months, then it is classified as a substandard asset. So if I want to see in total, then 3 months is for NPA and 12 months for the substandard asset. So totally it is coming to 15 months. I hope I'm clear with this. So for example, today in the month of 1st January 2020, I am giving the loan. So the amount of installment is becoming due, but the person or the customer to whom the loan was given is not paying or not repaying the EMI. So for entire 2020, he has not paid a single amount. Now we are going into 2021. January gone, February gone, March gone. Still he has not paid a single penny. So just consider 12 months of 2020 and 3 months of 2021. Since last 15 months, he has not paid the installment. Hence, his account is overdue. So in this particular case, I am going to classify this account as a substandard asset. That is what which is written over here in account which is NPA. So जैसे ही कोई account NPA हो जाता है, post that up to 12 months, it is going to fall under the category of substandard asset. So again, I would like to recall what is standard. This is something which is regular. What is substandard? If my account is becoming NPA, that is overdue for more than 90 days, then after being NPA up to next 12 months, that account is going to fall under the category of substandard asset. So if I have given a loan on 1st January, if my customer is not paying till March 2020, that is 3 months had already passed. So I will consider that account as an NPA. Now April went. In April also he has not paid the amount. Then in the month of April itself, I am going to classify that account as a substandard asset. Why? Because NPA has already been recognized and now up to 12 months, this account is going to be fall under the category of substandard asset. I hope I am clear with this particular part. Next comes doubtful asset. Now we are moving a step ahead. Now just keep in your mind totally clear. First of all, it was standard, that is as and when my installment was become due, I was duly paying the same. Then it became substandard, that is once an account is classified as an NPA, 90 days passed to that particular account, we are going to classify it as an NPA. After considering an account as an NPA up to next 12 months, it is going to be classified as a substandard asset. That is from being NPA up to 12 months, we are going to classify it as a substandard. Next come doubtful. Now doubtful assets are broadly classified into 3 different criteria or 3 different categories. First is up to 1 year. Second is doubtful for 1 year to 3 years. And last is doubtful for 3 years and above. Let's check out the first one. In first one I have written NPA up to 24 months. Now just let's look at the chain. NPA was after 3 months, right? Then up to 12 months, it was classified as substandard. Now, if even after considering my account as an NPA, 12 months have passed, still my customer is not repaying the same. So I can say from this 12 months up to 24 months, this criteria or this time period, that account will be classified as doubtful up to 1 year. I hope I'm clear with this. So what we have learned, first of all, if still 3 months, if my account is overdue, it is NPA. Once I have considered it as an NPA, I am going to wait up to 12 months. So during this period, up to 12 months after NPA, it is going to be substandard. Now this 12 months have also been gone. So totally 3 plus 12, that we are done with 15 months, still he is not paying the amount. Then I am going to wait for next 12 months. That is after NPA, I am going to wait for totally 24 months. So after 12 up to 24, it is going to be classified as a doubtful up to 1 year. Now 24 months have also passed. Then NPA over 24 months up to 48 months. That is up to 4 years after account is classified as an NPA. We are going to put it in the second category, that is doubtful for 1 year up to 3 years. And if it is still NPA above 48 months, we are going to classify it as a doubtful for 3 years and above. So what you need to remember as a basis, the date when the account was classified as an NPA. Because all the time period which is mentioned over here in both the points are from the account classification as an NPA. As a result of which, for the last time I am telling you, standard asset is something which is regular. That is, as and when my EMI becomes due, I am duly serving the same. Second is substandard. That is once my account is classified as NPA, that is after the passage of 90 days. Up to 12 months, during this period, that is from NPA up to 12 months, it is going to be told as substandard asset. Now that 12 months are also over. So from the 12 month up to 24 months, up to 1 year, doubtful. From 24 to 48, doubtful from 1 year to 3 years, and above 48 months, it is going to be classified as a doubtful for 3 years and above. Friends, I hope I am totally clear with this. Now I am going to the last category of this asset, loss asset. An asset identified as a loss asset with a little salvage value. What does this line basically tells us is, when I'm classifying or I'm identifying I'm an asset as a loss asset, which means I feel now from this particular account I'm just going to get a nominal amount. For example, I have lended a loan of rupees 10 lakhs and now I feel I'm just going to get 10,000 rupees out of this loan. So just imagine the loan amount was of 10 lakh rupees and now I'm expected that I am going to get only 10,000 out of it. Then out of the 4% which are stated below, any one of this can identify that particular asset as a loss asset. So now let's learn which are the competent person who has the power to identify an asset as a loss asset. First one written over here is internal auditor. I hope you all are aware what is an internal auditor. The auditor which is appointed by the bank itself to audit the day-to-day business transactions is known as internal auditor. If he feels during the course of audit or by going through that particular account that now nothing is being realizable from this account, the loan is basically going to be like a lost loan because I am not going to recover anything. So I, as an internal auditor, can identify and classify this particular asset as a loss asset. Second party that is competent for this is external auditor. Now there are statutory auditors, that are auditors which are appointed by law to do the statutory audit of a bank audit. Fine. Now if these external auditors, when they are examining the records or the books of accounts, they feel that nothing is realizable from this account, they can also identify that account as a loss asset. So first was internal auditor, that is one which is appointed by bank itself to look after the day-to-day auditing. Second is external auditor, which is basically outsider or an external person who comes to audit a bank basically once in a year. Third is Reserve Bank of India. When RBI feels that this account is supposed to be classified as a loss asset, nothing is realizable, I am not going to get anything from it, it can also identify it as a loss asset. And last is bank itself. So basically, if a bank itself feels that this customer is not going to pay me anything, now I am not going to get anything from this particular account, it itself can also classify it as a loss asset. So basically, there are 4 names that you guys are supposed to remember over here, who has the power to identify an account as a loss asset if it feels that nothing or very negligible amount is being realizable from this account. Who are they? Internal auditor, external auditor, Reserve Bank of India, and the bank itself. I hope you are totally clear with this particular answer. Friends, trust me, this answer has been asked for 7 marks also. So you need to describe and well portray in detail. So broadly classifying, assets can be classified into 2 types, performing assets and non-performing asset. What is performing asset? If I am regularly paying off all my EMIs or installments, I am duly meeting all the requirements, then my account is going to be termed as a performing asset. What is non-performing asset? If any account stands overdue for a period of more than 90 days, we are going to tell that that asset is a non-performing asset. Underperforming asset, we are having one name, which is standard asset. That is those assets which are regular in paying the interest or installment. Under non-performing asset, we are having further 3 types of asset: substandard, doubtful, and loss. That is, once my account is termed as an NPA, up to 12 months, it is going to be substandard. From 12 months up to 24, I am going to tell it doubtful up to 1 year. Over 24 up to 48, doubtful from 1 year to 3 years. NPA above 48, doubtful for 3 years and above. And the last one is loss asset. That when any of these 4 authority, which 4? Internal auditor, external auditor, Reserve Bank of India, or the bank itself, feels that nothing is recoverable from this particular account, or a negligible amount, like I told you in the example that the loan was of 10 lakh rupees, outstanding balance is 10 lakh rupees, but I feel that I'm only going to get 10,000 rupees. So it is just a negligible salvage value. So when any of this person identifies that this amount is realizable or nothing is realizable, they have the right to identify that particular account as a lost asset. Friends, I'm just giving you a moment, take a quick overview on all the four types that I have mentioned over here. Well, friends, I hope you are clear with this classification of assets. So when the question comes as explain in detail the classification of assets or explain in detail the classification of non-performing assets, you are going to write broadly there are two types, performing and non-performing. Underperforming, we are having one name, that is standard asset. Under non-performing, we are having on the basis of time, substandard, doubtful. Further, doubtful is classified into three different categories, and last is loss asset as identified by any of these four parties. So now let's take the test your knowledge series. Same rules. I will be giving you 20 seconds to 25 seconds for a question. Mark the correct options. I am having 3 MCQs for you. After the completion of all, we are going to write and discuss the correct options. I hope you are ready with the same, and your time starts now. Well, I hope you marked the correct options along with you. Let's discuss the right options. First question is, account which is NPA for 12 months will be classified as we have studied, there are three categories of NPA under which we have learned substandard, doubtful, and loss asset. So basically, once an asset is classified as an NPA up to 12 months, it will be classified as a substandard asset. So correct option is option B. Second question is, which of the following is a performing asset? I have told you there is only one name under performing asset, which is regular. So option A, standard asset, is the correct answer. Third is, who can identify the loss assets? We have learned there are four names who can classify an asset as a loss asset. They were internal auditor, external auditor, RBI, and the last was basically here I have mentioned an option all of this will be the correct option. So instead of none of this, it is a printing mistake. Here I should have written all of this. So basically in this particular question, there are 4 persons who can identify an asset as a loss asset. The 4 persons are internal auditor, external auditor, RBI, and the bank itself. Out of any of these 4 can classify your asset as a loss asset that we have studied over here, the bottom part. Internal auditor, external auditor, Reserve Bank of India, and bank itself. I hope you are totally clear with this particular topic of asset classification. With this, I, CA Pujan Kapadia, thank you all for your patient listening and hope to see you soon in my upcoming session. Thank you, friends.